Welcome to our first week's lesson for our Lenten study. If you've reviewed the introduction, we had some questions that are probably lingering in everyone's mind, and we'll highlight those for you as we begin our study. How do we know if religion and a religious idea is true? Is it because it's logically proven from the Bible? Is it because the church has found it useful over time? Is it because it makes you a better, more loving person? How do we know our faith is true? As you ponder those things on your own for this lesson and the next week as we're going through, it is very important that we understand the Bible as a whole can be used to measure the truth of individual ideas. And if an idea is not supported by the Bible as a whole, it may not be true. Let's get into this week's study. And we're going to read from Bishop Knisely's comments on creation. A good way to begin our study of Lent is to look at the very largest structures of God's creation. Not the large things that we have on earth and what we've seen created and existing, the structures that are up in the sky. All of that is fundamental to the organization of the universe and our own existence. We invite you to meditate with us on what we can learn by looking at the darkness of the night sky, the sameness of creation over vast distances, the meaning of time, and more. As many of us begin our yearly pilgrimage in a formal way, going through a Lenten study, we ask you to start by considering the scale of creation. Much of what we will present over the next few weeks is organized by scale, beginning at the very largest, the cosmic scale, and going down to the smallest, microscopic quantum scales. The largest conundrum is that it is possible for us to use our imagination to conceive the cosmos. The universe is essentially a giant, empty, soundless, cold, chaotic void. And in incredibly rare instances, there are small pockets organized into matter. The pockets represent very simple things like electrons, the proton, a cosmic ray. Even more rarely, those little bits of organizations combine into something complicated, a hydrogen or helium atom. Even more rare that there are clouds of hydrogen. And then stars, planets, and everything else that we can see are very small and very rare things when we think on the cosmic scale. It's hard to imagine that God fills all this vastness with the fire of love, or that God can comprehend the totality of it. And yet it is just what we insist on believing about God as Christians. And more than that, we believe the same God who animates this vast cosmos knows each of us individually by name and loves us. And God came on into the cosmos at a specific moment in history. Here on Earth, a nondescript, rocky planet in orbit around a boringly typical and relatively small star. It is when you think about the universe on the largest cosmic scales that you're most dumbfounded by what the theologians call the scandal of the particularity of the incarnation. We are so small, and yet for some reason we matter so much to God. It is a thing nearly impossible to grasp. And yet it is absolutely central to the teaching for the prophets and the apostles. So the questions to ponder: do you believe God of the cosmos? Here's your prayer. That may be a difficult question. So once again, I'm going to reiterate. The universe is huge, filled with mostly nothing, emptiness, blackness. And then we see all these things. So all of the stars that you see in the night sky, some of those stars are not even stars. They're actually galaxies because they're so far away that all of their light appears to you as a single point. But all of this And we say God knows us individually. And why do we say that? Because Jesus told us so. Every one of us, all the sparrows of the world, every one of us is known to God. Now that is an interesting concept. So if you find yourself struggling with the fact that God of the cosmos, this huge, massive creation, here's your prayer. The second question would be, could you at least for today envision what would change in your life if you believed it? Again, the study is from the book Lent is Not Rocket Science by Nicholas Knisely, a bishop of the Episcopalian Church. If you need a copy of the book, you can find one on Amazon. If you don't have Amazon or need to have a physical copy for us, let us know at the church and we will get you one. See you next week.